Hi guys, it's Mina. So I'm back with another video. Sorry, my camera wasn't working. I actually made this. Sorry, my camera just was counting backwards for some weird reason. I think I pressed something. I don't know what was happening. Anyway, well, that happened before, but now it's not happening now. Anyway, today in this video, I'm doing my top 10 Nostalgia Critic episodes. Now, this is the only video I'm going to do a top 10 episodes of shows, because if I did all the shows that I liked, or top 10 episodes of shows that I liked, that would take so long, because there's so many good episodes that I can never decide. And I'm going to want to do like every episode for every show, and I have a ton of shows that I like, and that would just take so long. Anyway, so this is the only one I'm going to do top 10 episodes. So I'm going to get started. And for those who don't know who the Nostalgia Critic is, he's a reviewer. He's a YouTuber who reviews really interesting things. Like, he'll do movie reviews. He does top 11 of his favorite things. He does, yeah, he'll do like top 11 of his favorite thing instead of top 10, which is what are usually done. And that's pretty much all he does, is reviews and top 11 things if he likes. So I'm going to get started. So, if you guys know who the Nostalgia Critic is, then, if you guys have never heard, okay, so, if you guys know who the Nostalgia Critic is, you're awesome, and if you don't know what it is, you should check him out. He's hilarious. So I'm going to get started. So number 1 on my list would have to be top 11 F-ups. F-ups. I'm not going to say the word because it's a cuss word. And this episode, the Nostalgia Critic features himself. So, warning, I'm going to be spoiling every single episode. Nostalgia Critic is trying to give a review, and then he has his like obnoxious fan who actually is him dressed up, and then he has another character in the show who's like dressed up as him, who he's dressed up as, and he's dressed up as like a guy. His name is D-word McNitpick. It's really funny, and he like constantly makes fun of the Nostalgia Critic's like mess ups in his shows. It's so funny, and he complains like, and he constantly harasses the sorry, I thought I heard my name called. He constantly harasses the Nostalgia Critic and complains about all his mess ups that he did. It's really funny, and he shows all his mess ups, stuff that he had made in every single episode. All 11 mess ups that he had made in like the episodes that he had messed up in. Number 2 on my list would have to be another top 11 F-ups. So, in this episode, the Nostalgia Critic has more mess ups that he did, and he is harassed again by his obnoxious fan, and he constantly points out all the mess ups that the Nostalgia Critic did. It was so funny, and the Nostalgia Critic gets annoyed throughout the entire episode. So then explains his mess ups. It's so funny. Number 3 on my list would have to be Rockadoodle. Now, a lot of you guys know, if you watch my channel, you know that I do not really like Rockadoodle. It's honestly not, I honestly don't think it's that bad of the movie, except for the story. The story is god-awful. Well, but the story and the songs are both god-awful, but everything else is completely fine. Just the characters are kind of cute. So yeah, this one, I find this pretty funny because he kind of makes fun of all the characters in the show. Like, he makes fun of Chanticleer, who is like the rooster. He makes fun of Edmund and stuff like that. And I love his like reactions to Edmund. It's pretty funny. He does like a pretty funny job doing reactions to Edmund. The character in the movie, and I do have a review up for Rockadoodle, and if you wish to see that, I'll have that linked in the description box down below. Number 4 on my list would have to be top 11 catchiest TV show theme songs. Now, in this episode, you got the Nostalgia Critic talking about like TV shows that he grew up in with his childhood. TV shows, and he really talked about how he liked the theme songs to them. Like, he shows like a lot of interesting TV shows from like the 80s and stuff like that. And fun fact, a lot of those shows from the 80s I never really watched. Well, I wasn't born when those shows came out, but I think they showed reruns. I think I've only seen like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like once in my life, and then I never saw it ever again after that. And he shows like all the theme songs that have some the TV shows that have some pretty catchy theme songs, and I have to admit, some of them are pretty catchy, including the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme songs. Number 5 on my list would have to be top 11, Dumb in Distress. Now, I like this episode because the Nostalgia Critic complains about all of the damsels in distress who get kidnapped, and how they're annoying, and how they're ungrateful, and they don't really do anything. And I do really agree with the Nostalgia Critic about some of these, and I love how he makes remarks on all the damsels that he's picked. It is pretty funny. I really have to agree with him about the damsels in distress. A lot of you guys know, if you watch my channel, if you watch my top 10 most annoying damsels in distress and top 10 hates about damsels in distress, you know that I can't stand a damsel in distress because a lot of them are so obnoxious and ungrateful. Well, and that's one thing I hate about damsels in distress, is a lot of them are really immature, and they sound kind of rude, kind of self-centered and ungrateful, which I really hate. A lot of them, why didn't you save me? Why didn't you do that for me? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you have any idea how ungrateful you sound? That's why I hate damsels in distress. I actually know where he's going with this. He talks about all the damsels in distress and how obnoxious they are and how none of them ever do anything. And I do have to agree with them about how a lot of them are kind of obnoxious and complain, and they don't really do anything. Yeah. That's a damsel in distress. Next time, if I ever see a damsel in distress and she's ungrateful to me, she should better save herself. Save herself. Number 6 on my list would have to be the Pebble and the Penguin. Now, the Pebble and the Penguin is a cute movie, except for the songs. But I really like this one because the Nostalgia Critic has so many hilarious moments. He talks about Don Bluth, and then a picture of Don Bluth shows up, and then he gets annoyed. It's so funny. And then he talks about all the movies that he's directed and stuff like that. One of his favorites is The Secret of Nim. And plus, Secret of Nim is also one of my favorite Don Bluth films, too. And, he talks about the Pebble and the Penguin and the story and the plot. And then he, makes a bunch of funny remarks about the penguins in the show. It is pretty funny, and then he makes fun of the songs, too. Kind of like in Rockadoodle, he, makes fun of the ones in Rockadoodle, too. Number 7 on my list would have to be top 11 hottest animated women. Now, I like this episode of the Nostalgia Critic because he talks about all the women from animated female characters from TV shows and movies, and he talks about how he liked he was attracted to them by their personality and their appearance and stuff like that. And I like how he makes pretty funny remarks about the women in that show. It is pretty funny. Number 8 on my list would have to be top 11 Disney villains. I like this one because you got Nostalgia Critic picking 11 different Disney villains, and then he makes a bunch of remarks about them. I like his remarks about Scar, how he talked about how Scar doesn't really do anything, but he's actually just a power-hungry monster. And then while the other villains just, will do anything, Scar doesn't really actually do anything. And he talks about how the other villains will, do something. Gaston will, try to kill the Beast in order to get a girl he likes. So yeah, I like how he makes fun of, some of the villains. There's actually this one scene in this episode where, where Jafar will say, "You'll get what's coming to you," and he goes, "What's coming to you? What's coming to me?" And then suddenly he'll, sorry, I'm making this quick. And then, he zaps his wand, and then the Nostalgia Critic gets a dinosaur mask on him, which is pretty funny. And then another scene in the show, the same thing happens to him again, but except with Maleficent, and then he gets, a 3-headed skull on his head. It's so funny. And then he makes a bunch of funny jokes. Oh, yeah, I love that episode. It's so funny. He just has, the funniest remarks. Number 9 on my list would have to be Tom and Jerry the movie. I like his reaction to the characters in this entire show, your episode, because he like talked about Tom and Jerry the movie, and he talks about like the cartoon and stuff like that, and he talks about how the show is, and it is a pretty funny show. I used to watch Tom and Jerry so much as a kid, and I love Tom and Jerry the movie. It was one of my favorite movies to watch at my aunt's house when I was little, and he like makes remarks about it, like how the songs are terrible, and he has like weird moments where he's like completely confused about the songs and stuff like that. Same thing about Rockadoodle, that he completely like talks about like Rockadoodle songs, like how they stink. Yeah, they really do stink. And then he like constantly like makes like weird faces throughout the show. It's so funny. Number 10 on my list would have to be A Simple Wish. Now, I've never seen A Simple Wish, but I love his reaction to the movie, like how he talks about how bad it is, how the story stinks and stuff like that. I love his reaction to like how he I love how he kind of makes fun of Mara Wilson. Even though I'm not a big I feel bad that he makes fun of Mara Wilson a little bit, but I do find it kind of funny at the same time. But I do like Mara Wilson, even though I've only seen her in like 2 things, which are Matilda and Mrs. Doubtfire. She's a pretty good actress, and he complains about how she's really obnoxious and annoying and stuff like that. But I think she's a pretty good actress. She's a lot better than Lindsay Lohan, that's for sure. Well, that's just my own personal opinion. And then I like how also he like makes a bunch of like hilarious remarks about the characters and the movie throughout the entire review. It's so funny. Okay, so those are my top 10 Nostalgia Critic episodes. I'm sorry this was so long, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!